Hello, it's Max with Crypto Talk Now. Happy 2023 to each and every single one of you out there on this wonderful January 1st of the new year. I want to go ahead and kick it into today's quant coverage, but if anything, the main thing to look out for is basically Mdapps explained from who? Quant's very own Gilbert Verdian. And it's just a quick explanation, but it gets right to the point. But before we get to that specific clip with that outline, I want to show you guys some other things for today's quant coverage. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So shout out to this particular individual. He has, for instance, tuned in to the live show, and I highly recommend you do it as well if you enjoy a live show or you appreciate this quant content. And that is the Quant Qnt. He's about one of 3 to 4 different content creators that I follow that provides great clips, snippets, whatever you want to call it, in regards to quant. You follow him at Quant Qnt. So he states, in 2013, Bitcoin did a 500x bottom to peak. 2017, Bitcoin did 100x. Now, this particular statement, I don't know about that. 2022 Bitcoin did a 20x. May be true. Did it feel like it, right? Especially with crypto winter. All the other data, I would definitely have to agree with. Not that I'm, basically downplaying Quant Qnt, because I definitely am not. But maybe this is based off of, for instance, where Bitcoin originally went. Actually, you know what? That's exactly what it was. It's from, when it first started, and then, of course, compared to where it's currently, right? Because let's face it, if you came into Bitcoin at like 69K, you're just absolutely wrecked right now at these particular price levels. But anyway, states, if Quant is Bitcoin in 2013 and only does half a Bitcoin, you will have a 11K Quant. Now that's something to be said. Why is that? Well, for me personally, I am not looking to get out of Quant at 11K. I'm just going to be honest. That is not me. It may be for you. And, by all means, take your profits. Do whatever you got to do for you and your family, to say the least, because I'm not giving you official financial advice. I'm just stating what I'm personally doing. If you hold over 100 Quant, for instance, and you see this go to 11K, that would basically make your 100 Quant worth $1.1 million. That's something to be said. But for me personally, I'm looking to achieve a lot higher than that. Why? Because I'm very diversified with my portfolio. I'm into about 50 different projects. And Quant, XRP, some of these other ones, XLM, those are long-term holds for me anyway. So I'm well invested into some of these other ones and so on. I would definitely take my profits out of those, but some of these like Quant and so on, for me personally, it's just that much longer of a hold. But you got to do what you got to do, right? So there's this particular one, and shout out to Greg Lunt, who is basically another person here in the Phoenix area like myself, great content creator. Shout out to him. I basically hit the 14.6K followers. So that was really, really nice. And of course, he covers Quant and some of these other ones. If anything, check out this particular statement. So it states, when crypto projects announce big partnerships, many investors don't realize price won't be impacted. Long term, without bullish tokenomics, luckily for us, Quant has both. Yeah, they have both. And I will give another shout out to this particular person who replied to this. It says, Quant has good tokenomics if implemented as planned. Tokenomics would be amazing if they somehow added a deflationary burn element. Just imagine what that would do to the price. And that is a very good point. But I'm that much more bullish on Quant. Now, I want to also get back to this. Kind of hopping back and forth between Greg Lunt, Quant Qnt, so on and so forth. So these particular questions are great follow-ups to all this. So it says, why am I so bullish on Quant? Unique solution for a real problem. Yeah, absolutely. Impressive enterprise adoption. You've already seen quite a few of those. Full regulatory compliance. Yeah. Think about the compliance in itself. They already are basically, quote unquote, regulation safe. How do we know this? Well, Gilbert Verdian, all the work he's done with the New York Federal Reserve in the past, the Bank of England, so on and so forth. You could even count, for instance, his work that he did with MasterCard. Utility driven with capped supply. And last but not least, not Quant, but Bitcoin maxis should stop over complicating this, right? Yeah, they need to. But yet, you will see them in the comments. You know, it's what comes with the territory, to say the least, right? All right, let's get into a little bit more. And now, for the moment you've been waiting for. Shout out to Greg Lunt for providing it again. Quant's multi-dApps explained. It says specifically, think of a payment application or existing decentralized app and wrap it with Overledger. Yeah, Quant's operating system, Overledger. So you upgrade the capabilities of that decentralized app and you natively make it multi-DLT. I'm going to go ahead and play this, full screen it, and then we'll come right back.
We like the idea of dApps, so decentralized applications. So what we wanted to do was take that concept and make it multi-DLT. So we've actually settled on Mdapps, multi-DLT dApps. So think of a payment application or an existing dApp that people are using in DeFi to wrap it with Overledger. So you upgrade the capabilities of that dApp and you natively make it multi-DLT using the technology of Overledger. You're able to have that dApp exist on Ethereum, on Ripple, on Bitcoin, and also be linked to a quarter DLT that the bank is using internally. So we're bridging the permissionless world very easily.
That in itself, you don't think for a moment that there's a lot of supply and demand for just that? The last Quant video I put out, there was some, let's face it, some harsh criticism, and it's what comes with the territory. I mean, I welcome it because if anything, it's going to happen. As you become bigger and get more coverage as a content creator, these things happen. You're going to get, for instance, whether it's Bitcoin maxis or people who just don't like Quant in general, basically state that you're nuts and it doesn't make sense. But if anything, it tells me they don't quite understand Overledger. Here's just one of many examples of just that. Not understanding the full capabilities of Quant's operating system, Overledger. Now, I want to show you this in connection to what we just covered with that particular clip. So for instance, you have this example. I'm going to go ahead and blow it up. So you have the application layer right at the very top. Then for instance, you have JVM, which is Java Virtual Machine. Then you have that which connects to Windows, Linux, and Apple's OS X, all operating systems. All right. And on top of that, look at what seems familiar to what you saw at the top. Yeah, it does look familiar, doesn't it? Basically, you have, for instance, that multi-chain app. Then you have it connected to Overledger. Overledger connects it to what? Some of these particular ones that you've seen and already done business with in the past. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple. But the point is, understanding where Quant went from Web 2 to Web 3. JVM in itself is still massive. If it wasn't for Java, like I mentioned, you guys wouldn't be able to even watch YouTube videos. maybe some other company would have basically came in and used a similar technology. That is true. But if anything, Java is what got us into Web 2. Where we don't have to sit there and buffer a video on what is equivalent to a dial-up connection, right? I remember, just like a lot of you guys, the horrible days of dial-up internet. And if anything, sitting there forever, or maybe even just downloading a video and having to come back hours later to finally watch it. What a leap it's been from Web 1 to Web 2, and especially where Quant is basically taking us in Web 3. Alright, last but not least, I'll come back into the frame just for a brief moment. I'm going to leave you guys with this. We're going to show you guys a particular motivational speech, if you will, from the great Denzel Washington. In this particular clip, gives you an outline to a sense of how you should all stay the course, know what you hold, know what you believe in, especially starting off this great year. Hopefully it'll be a great year for 2023. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Be right back.
Big. That's right. Today's the beginning of the rest of your life, and it can be very frightening. It's a new world out there. It's a mean world out there, and you only live once. So do what you feel passionate about. Take chances professionally. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big, to dream big. But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams, and they ultimately fuel disappointment. Have goals. In order to achieve your goals, you must apply discipline, which you have already done, and consistency every day, not just on Tuesday and miss a few days. You have to work at it every day. You have to plan every day. You've heard the saying, we don't plan to fail, we fail to plan. Hard work works. Working really hard is what successful people do. And in this text, tweet, twerk world that you've grown up in, remember, just because you're doing a lot more doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. Don't confuse movement with progress. My mother told me, she said, yeah, because you can run in place all the time and never get anywhere. So continue to strive, continue to have goals, continue to progress. I don't care how much money you make, you can't take it with you. The Egyptians tried it. They got robbed. That's all they got. You can't take it with you. And it's not how much you have. It's what you do with what you have.
Welcome back. I really enjoy that, and hopefully you did too. I think it's a great way to start off this new year of 2023. Let's face it, 2022 was probably one of the worst crypto winners we've ever experienced, and we're still basically in it. But I think, if anything, it's going to thaw out pretty soon, especially getting into the end of the first quarter of this particular year, basically late March, early April of 2023. I feel as though that crypto winter will start thawing out. Could be wrong, but if anything, I am also looking at some certain indicators to show support for these particular predictions. So I really hope you guys enjoy the content. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Enjoy a live show and want some more of these particular quant clips, coverage, and so on. Check us out every single day, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, Crypto Talk Now. Thanks for watching, everybody. You all have a blessed day. We will see you on the next one.